Hi guys, this is Adrienne Green, realtor with Sampson Properties, and just yesterday I was speaking with a past client about DTI, or debt to income ratio. So I thought that our conversation was something that everybody could benefit from because it's something that everybody has to consider when you're getting a mortgage loan. So let me take a couple minutes here to talk to you guys about debt to income ratio because it is a qualifying factor for every mortgage loan. All right. So this is all commonly referred to as DTI, and it stands for debt to income ratio. All right. So it is your debts over your incomes, right? A ratio or a fraction, things like that. All right. Now, your lender can have different maximum DTI ratios that they observe. Some will say they like it to be under 40%, under 43%. But I will say the max that I have ever seen anybody go up to is that it has to be under 50%. You cannot pass that 50%. All right, that is a hard rule, and that's for investors and for primary residences, okay? Unless you're doing some kind of like hard money loan or things like that. But if you're talking about a regular residential mortgage, we're looking at a less than 50% DTI at the max. And I'm big asterisk here, your lender may require a lower percentage than that, okay? So what are they looking at for debts, okay? They're looking at what, and usually we can consider this on a monthly basis. What debts do you have to pay every month? Do you pay your car loan? Do you pay a student loan? Do you pay a credit card payment, all right? So they pull your credit report, and on your credit report, it'll say what your average monthly payment is, right? That's what they're gonna use here. And then maybe you already have a mortgage. Maybe you're buying a second home, a vacation home, an investment property, things like that. If you already have any debt on your house, that's going to be considered here as well, all right? Now, sometimes lenders have some leeway here where, let's say your car loan is going to be paid off in a month or two. All right, sometimes they can ignore certain debts like that, but it really depends on the lender, their requirements, and the details of that debt. All right, so I can't guarantee that that's always the case. And then your income is whatever you're using for income. Most often it is your tax return, okay? Usually they're looking at your tax return income from past years, but maybe they're looking at pay stubs. Maybe you, like we were saying, you already have a property that you have a mortgage on, but you're going to rent it out. Maybe they're looking, or you already rent it out, okay? They can look at that lease and consider that money you're making off investment properties in your income, all right? Now again, if you already have tax returns filed since you've been renting out these properties, all your income should be on that tax return, including the money you're making off that investment property. So the tax return, if it's available, is typically the gold standard for determining someone's income, all right? So this is a really important ratio to consider when you are planning on getting any kind of mortgage loan for a house. And sometimes you may benefit, if your DTI is high, you may benefit from paying off a loan rather than keeping all that money for a higher down payment. Because if your DTI is over 50%, they can't help you, all right? So that's an example of, the kind of nuances of considerate financial planning in terms of getting a mortgage loan, where you can benefit from speaking with a lender before you're ready to put in that offer, all right? They can look at everything and say, okay, we're good on everything, or if we're not good on DTI, maybe here's how we can fix it in a couple months, or things like that, okay? Now, for my investors, I wanted to talk about a specific aspect of DTI, all right? And that is when you already have one rental property and you want to get more, because rental properties increase your debts, and they increase your income, but not at the 1-to-2 ratio, right? So here's an example with some simple numbers to show you how this would work. So let's say you have a rental property and your total monthly payment for that property is $1,000. That's your mortgage payment, interest, taxes, insurance is $1,000 a month. And you rent it out for $1,500 a month, right? First off, that's a great rate of return. And there your DTI would be 67%. For just the debt and income on this rental property, not your overall DTI. But I want you to consider how when the DTI on this property is 67%, when you're going to add this payment to your debts up here and this income to your income up here, it's going to make your overall ratio higher than it would be otherwise, all right? You might still be under 50% and you're good to go, okay? But you just want to consider that once you start having one rental property or more than one rental property, it is increasing your DTI ratio more often than not, all right? And another caveat, and again, every loan situation is different, so this is just a possibility, but it's one I wanted to make you aware of, is that sometimes in some situations, and this can depend on things including how long you've rented out this property, but it may be that your lender can only consider 75% of your rent, okay? Some lenders in some situations say, okay, well, you're not gonna have 100% occupancy. So we're gonna take 25% of that rent away for vacancies, time between tenants, stuff like that. All right. In this situation, if your lender only considered 75% of your rent as income that they could consider for the loan, your payment that you have to make every month is still $1,000, but the income that they can use to qualify you for the loan is $1,125. And so that ratio is a DTI ratio of 89%. All right. Now, again, that is not your overall DTI, but you can see how having that rental property will make your overall DTI higher, okay? Again, they will look at it as a comprehensive picture, but this will make your overall DTI higher. So just something to keep in mind for everyone as you're looking to buy a property. DTI is a very important ratio. We have to keep it under 50%. And especially for my investors, as you're looking to go from one property to 2 or 3 or 4, you want to consider the DTI there as well. So anyway, this is something that's important. I'm glad I got the chance to share it with you today. If anybody has any questions or comments about DTI, feel free to write it in the comments below. I'll respond. If it takes another video, I'll do another video. Always love to do these, and just to be a resource for people and share my experience and what I've learned with you guys. So if you like the video, please click the thumbs up below, and big red subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already, the bell for notifications so that you can find out when I've posted another fabulous informative tip. All right, thanks guys. Adrienne Green, Realtor at Sampson Properties. Have a great day.